Have you ever been to a fashion sewing retreat? So much fun, sewing with others, getting things done. Get them off your to-do list. Come with me, I'll show you a peek into the sewing retreat. Beep, beep. Well, I'm back from my retreat. This is part 2. Part 1 was all my plans about getting to the retreat. That was fun. That's fun in itself, right? But this video is all about the retreat itself. So let's see. I made 2 skirts, and 2 skirts that were on my schedule to do for a long time that were going to be a little time consuming. So wow, they were perfect. And I had plenty of time. I got to socialize, meet new ladies who love to sew, and it was really fun. I really loved the room situation they had there. They had the big room for sewing, and alongside it were all our rooms, and I just thought that was so fun because you sew, go in there, you didn't have to vacuum, you didn't have to clean up, kind of keep your little area clean, and that was the really fun part of it. Great lunches and dinners, breakfast. I never made it to breakfast. I don't eat eggs, and I just eat fruit. So they had, when I came in the morning, they had like fruit and bagels and stuff like that. So I never did make it to breakfast. Their lunch and dinner schedules were a little opposite than mine, so I struggled through and got through it. But delicious food. The days went so fast. I think 3 days. I asked the other ladies, is 3 days enough? And they're like, yeah, but then by the time 4, it's a little much. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I could have probably gone. My retreats are 3.5 days, which I think is perfect, because I like that first half of the day to get to know the ladies, and then we sew. So I think I'm going to stick with that. I've been trying to work this out. Anyway, 2 skirts done. I brought my last video. I didn't have the blog post right here, and I found them, and I was a little off. I printed all my postcards on fabric paper, and I was forgetting, because it had been a couple years, that Ray actually made the postcards, sewed on a design onto a fabric, and then put them onto a postcard jacket. So that's what I wanted to do with my skirt, and I did. Mine was a little easier than hers, so but I got that done. So Ray has these. This is the So Successful Retreat Spring 2023. That's what I went to. It's in Baltimore, the Maritime Conference Center, and that was a great place. At first I was a little like, what? Really fun. I really loved it. The meals were fun. The room was great. Lots of light. Yeah, it was good. So this is Fit for Art Patterns. Ray and Carrie started this. Can't remember how many years ago. I asked them. Can't remember. So they have jackets, patterns, and blouses. Classic cuts that they do variations of. And then all the ladies there, most of them were doing the jacket. And at the end, I finally tried on the jacket and thought, okay, I don't wear jackets, but I'll try. Yeah, so they also have these retreats a couple times a year, but it is in Baltimore, and it's easy flying, but I drove. The last day wiped me out a little bit. Wow. But let me take you on a trip to my retreat. Have arrived to the retreat. Do not know where to go. This is where it's at. Okay, going in. There it is. Well, as usual, I'm the last person in. I stayed at a hotel next door, and not a morning person. So I walked in, and there's 12 of us, and the other ladies were sitting around the table, and they were just starting. I didn't really miss anything. Just starting to go through everybody's name and where they're from and what they're going to work on. So I thought that was great. Got a chance to meet everybody, and everybody had picked out tables of where they're going to sit. And there's one table left. It was by the snack table. Perfect. Anyway, I dove right in, got started cutting out my skirt, and yay, finally going to make my skirt. Okay, I'm first cutting my skirt out. I've got 3 layers here. Cut them all at the same time.
You know what I didn't remember was my scalloped t-shirt. I'm ready now to cut the yoke.
Well, I got it all cut out. Could have done that at home, but had to wait a little bit for a cutting table, but got it cut out. It was an easy cut. I'm used to this skirt. So all of a sudden, a group meeting breaks out. I'm like, I had no idea what we were doing in the sewing retreat. I never got an itinerary. Just thought, we're just gonna sew. Then this group meeting breaks out, and the ladies all bring their fabric over. They had gone to a fabric shopping tour the day before. I couldn't go because I was driving up, and it was quite a while, and I was meeting an old friend of mine from 30 years ago, so I didn't go fabric shopping. Lord knows I need more fabric. But it was from a woman who buys silks, I believe in India or Vietnam or just in the somewhere. So I just didn't need any more fabrics, and those weren't quite my fabric types anyway, but they make a lot of jackets here, and they're really great for jackets. I like to do skirts. But the meeting was fun. Got to know more of the ladies and see the fabric they bought. Always love to do that. And then after that, we went off to lunch. This place has killer lunch. They have a big cafeteria in there, and it's like a dining hall, so it was warm and wasn't like, your typical cafeteria. Lots of people from all other conventions in there, and great lunch. Spicy, really had flavor. So I was really happy with that. After lunch, we came back, did some more sewing. Group discussion. The ladies all went to fabric shopping yesterday. I missed it. They were showing each other fabrics.
This is an amazing piece. The distribution piece. And whatever done gets chosen.
This is a workstation. Actually, got my skirt started here. And this is all the snacks. Not that far. Now we're having a discussion. Okay, it's 5 o'clock, almost the end of the day, and I've got my skirt in layers. I've torn them, and then I had to put one of them a lining so that it wasn't so bulky. So that took a little bit of time, and now I'm doing a rickrack as the binding instead of the linen. I was going to do, and I had another trim. Really took a while to decide what to use. So I had all these to choose from. I was going to do this one. It's so pretty. But Ray was saying, well, here's my postcards too. I had all these printed out right here. And those are the postcards I'm going to be putting on the skirt. So cute. And I also have this trim too, but I wasn't sure. I think just a simple rickrack. Ray was saying just a simple rickrack would be really pretty with that. And put it on the white lid, and I was also going to do a torn edge of this. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right here. So yay! This is coming along really nice, and I'll show you the progress.
Skirt is making progress. Wow, faster than I thought. No interruptions, just work on the skirt. I love it. I've really been wanting to get this skirt done. And we ended up going to dinner. Dinner was around like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and went down really great food again. Lots of spices and flavor, little less people, which was nice. And then the ladies and I all sat around and chatted some more. And then I hear evening sewing. More my speed. I'm I don't get going. My brain doesn't start really functioning until about 3 o'clock. So that works great with my school schedule here with the kids. So after dinner, we go to the bar. Yes. Ladies get some wine. I get a beer. Again, odd one out. Go back up to the room and do some evening sewing.
So this is late night sewing. Late night sewing.
Well, that was fun. In the end, it was only me and Robin left. We lasted till about 8:30. Not too late. But I went to my room, couldn't sleep because the yoke was bothering me. The white on the tan wasn't working. Couldn't sleep because of this. So I woke up in the morning thinking, I gotta change this yoke. And I walked in and saw the skirt, and I'm like, gotta make it tan and tan. I don't know. So I talked to Ray about it, and she gave me some great ideas. Just put a frayed edge on it and do the rickrack. And then, okay, skirt now has some progress.
Okay, so I've decided to make the yoke tan. And what I'm going to do is cut this kind of off grain. I'm going to make it straight grain and do a raw edge. And this is going to lay right over the white. So the white's now going to become my lining. And I'm going to stitch this up here. So I have the raw edge. But it's going to go right like that. And I'm breaking my number one rule. That is to keep your left side clear. This is my table. And I'm trying to sew in this little spot. So I have my yoke done. And I'm going to now try to place it on here to see how it lays. Okay, this is how it's looking. Got the raw edge here. And my little white is underneath there. It's the white is all there, so now the white becomes my lining, and now I have to top stitch. I'll top stitch right about here, and then this one can be flap up a little bit. So just lining this right up, watching that edge come right here. Get that pin. Might even sew over the pins in this case. Just like lining that, keeping the edge of that foot right there. Just go around it. Really need this to be straight. Just gonna take my time. I should use my handy dandy speed control. Why not? I'm actually gonna sew over a pin. Don't tell anybody. They're the silk pins, so they're much thinner. Okay, and I'll get around it. See how it looks. I think it's looking pretty good.
Okay, feeling better. The yoke is now working. The yoke is now working. So it turns out I got to know my sewing neighbor, and she is from the same area as me, North Carolina. She lives in Cornelius, and I live in Mooresville. We're a couple exits away from each other, and we go to the same dentist. How did that come about? I don't know. But yeah, so during this retreat, you start to get to know the ladies, and that's the fun part of a retreat, is sewing with others.
Discussions happening.
It wasn't super expensive. It wasn't really.
So I have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
Can I interview you guys?
sure.
Did you know that Teresa and I go to the same dentist?
I didn't know
I
that.
just found out. John Merrill.
Amazing.
John Merrill is my first
Amazing. You guys live that close to each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we actually
One
live
exit
about
apart, right?
know.
Is that
about
what you
2 or
said?
3
Two-
exits
I
apart.
think you're on
actually.
28, I'm on
Yeah.
31.
Yeah,
Yeah. So.
yeah.
How fun is that?
So this is Carrie and Ray and Teresa in the middle, and they have the business Fit for Art Patterns. And I met them at the Sewing Expo.
I wondered where you met us.
Yeah, like a couple years
Atlanta.
ago in Atlanta.
Oh my God, in
yeah,
between the
and
two
I
of
saw
you.
him.
Glad for you to be
Ray
here.
Ray was doing a fabric class and showed
Oh, I
all the
did, yes.
jackets, and I was like, I remember the postcard jacket, and I was like, oh my gosh,
I
I
gotta try
love that. Just stuck in my brain, and then when I
Yes,
thought
right.
of that one, I was like, oh my gosh.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah. They have a business in Baltimore, and they've developed some cool patterns that I've been seeing around. Wow, I have to try that pattern, the jacket pattern. And
Yeah, there's lots of potential. You could do a little sweep by the
all the
rack
samples.
with all the
yes,
samples.
all those samples.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the fun retreat.
Oh, we are so glad you're here. We're
fun.
enjoying your
Yeah,
creative
your project.
endeavors.
Good,
Yeah,
thanks. Yeah, I was like,
you have to show people your
I
fabulous.
want to, I get like little spurts of time, and
I
I just want to,
understand.
and that's not a spurt of time out thing, like the whole postcards. So
Yes.
I just got to, you know.
Yeah. So are you taking
detach.
progress shots on it?
Yes, progress shots. And I'm also, I have a big policy at my school, keep the left side clear. So this is the opposite. Keep the left side.
So later, Ray shows me how to use the BSR. I still don't know what that stands for, but it's on the Bernina sewing machine. It's sort of like a long, what do they call those long machines that you can quilt with. You just kind of move the machine around and it sews, and so much fun. So she showed me how to use it, and it turns out I have the same machine. I should have brought that machine, but it's so heavy. So now I have to get that machine out and learn how to hook it up. I should have also asked Ray to help me learn how to hook that thing up, the little attachments. That's what keeps you from doing stuff. But it was fun, and I got a chance to use it.
You just push a button, and it's this button with the 2 little circles. You push the button, and it starts.
It's like a long little.
And it moves at the pace of your fingers. Okay. So you will sew.
And is the stitch length,
Does
it vary, or is
well, it varies a little bit, but it still will just, what it's supposed to do is regulate it so that you don't get these really long ones, even if you're not. And I think some of it has to do with it intuits your hands, although I don't really know how that works, okay? So I bet that
I do a lot of free motion quilting, and I do really.
I bet you'll go fast.
And I
People
do
who
it
are
fast.
really good at free motion quilting hate this.
I'm gonna do like some loops. I'm gonna do a 360. Oh,
Yes,
I can't.
you can. You can do whatever you want.
I'm gonna do a burnout. Oh my gosh. See my machine? I have this, and I never learned to use
When you
it.
do free motion, you just have,
You drop the feet down. Drop it.
I feel like I'm on a ride at Disney World. And I like sewing backwards. Sewing backwards. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
This is Robin. She's in the sunlight.
Yes, that's a good thing.
She'll make one of my skirts. That's gonna be fun.
Tonight.
We'll do that tonight while we're drinking beer and wine.
random idea.
My skirt is really making some progress.
Have the postcards all laid out. Pins, now I have to go around and sew them on. I guess with white or tan thread. I have tan. Then I've got some white. Have to figure that one out. I guess I'll get it right around here, and then I'll take the pins out and try it on. I was putting it in the mirror. So this is the back. Oh, wait, that's the front. The back, I made sure they're not right on my tush. Right here. And yeah, so now I'm just going to start sewing them on. And this is how this looks here. Looks so much good. Oh, I love this. I want to go here so bad. Bam, in Canada. And yeah, this is Bora Bora. I really want to go to the huts on the water. Venice. Shooting to go there in November. And Budapest. Yes, I'm going to go to Budapest because I saw it on The Bachelor and it looked beautiful. All right, now to go sew these on. Just gotta make sure there's no bubbles. Okay, 2 done.
All right, off to lunch. Another delicious lunch. Lots of flavor. I'm really enjoying these lunches. And desserts, ice cream. They have an ice cream bar. Oh my gosh. I was like, I think I gained a few pounds. So we come back. We have, surprise, another group meeting. This one's all about fabrics, like specifically silks, different kinds of silks there were, and some little techniques with trim, and that's what I love. I love to take fabrics and like fringe them or all kinds of things, and Ray is a master at this. She just loves doing that, and I haven't met a lot of people that love to do techniques with fabric, and that's what really drew me to this retreat. So it was.
And then these are hammered silks, and I love these hammered silks.
I don't know what that is.
So it's hammered. It's like a heavy crepe de chine that has been beaten. I think. I mean, isn't that right? And this one is also.
I've seen those done in metal.
Yes.
With the meat tenderizer.
Again, it's that texture that is so
Let me see it.
fun.
With the meat tenderizer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I brought these. This was not that I So this is Dupioni, and the whole issue was about making this trim. That's just self-trim. That's been, because it's
Beautiful piping.
some interfacing
Using the
inside
selvage.
here. I don't think I have the samples, but I'll have photographs of them I can pull up. And you can see it's still got the tape on it from the photo shoot.
Yeah, using the selvage.
And this has, we can pass this around. I think that's for my French daughter. And then this is for my DC daughter. And that's they're both Carpe
My
Diem.
DC daughter, my French daughter.
Yes, right. I loved this piece. I don't know that it
Oh,
really
that's
shows as
beautiful.
well.
How'd you get the
but
fray
it's
in
so
there?
cool.
Did you create the fray?
Yeah, it's just a strip of fabric, and it's super easy to do because the threads just slip out.
Stitch it to stop it from
beautiful.
fraying
Yes,
farther.
you'll see a zigzag there. That's
Yeah.
And then I also think that I put some inner. Okay.
Creative.
And any
look at that.
questions? I do have over on the.
Well, that was a creative, informative meeting. Now, back to the skirt.
I'm done. Skirt is done.
And then there's all this at the iron. So let's get that far, and then I'll show you.
Let me see. Let me see the back of it. Skirt? Well, it's not done. I still have to add lots of little trims to it.
Glad you came. I'm
Wow.
so glad you.
I know, I felt like it was meant to be. That was serendipity, you know?
Yeah.
Look at.
That's adorable, totally adorable.
I love it. Here, I'm gonna take a picture.
I got it.
That changing that yoke was really smart.
I gotta. I'm gonna add buttons and little things to it now.
I think looks great.
Aren't you pleased?
Yeah, it's fun.
That.
I've been wanting to make this for so long.
That in it, you know what? Isn't it so fun to actually get to do one?
Yeah, I would have never done it. For the fun, got all these vintage buttons and trims, and I'm adding them to the cards. So I'm gonna pin where I want them, and I'm gonna be sewing these on the machine right here. So just got them ready to go. I added some nail heads to there. This one got a little button right there, and yeah. So I'm just gonna go around this and add some trims to them, make them pop a little bit. This one gets the little mini rickrack. Really cute. That's the fun part.
So the best part of sewing with others is the collaboration, the cheers and the show and tell. And the ideas, like maybe you should do this or that, you know, and you're like, oh wow, that's the fun part of sewing with others. All right, off to an early dinner. Oh, and my plan is to start a new skirt after dinner during the evening sewing.
Evening sewing. We're at 7:30, and we're in here. We got 7 of us. Okay. So if you go home, and now I'm making the navy skirt. I've decided to do the corset skirt instead. So now I have to cut these little corset pieces out here. I did the corset on this skirt a long time ago, and I just seam them and add top stitching here, and that'd be really pretty on this navy one. This is a navy like raw silk, really pretty. I've had it for a while, and I want to make a skirt out of it. And I have these flowers right here. It's on a piece of fabric like this I've had for a while, and then I bought it for this, and I'm gonna cut these flowers off and then sew them all along the hem. And I'm gonna have to put them on Velcro so that I can clean this dress too. So that is my next project. I'm working on it tonight, and I'll finish it up tomorrow. And we're here drinking beer and wine. Evening sewing.
Okay, the next morning. Got some sleep last night. Didn't have to worry about the yoke. And got my new skirt, the navy one, underway. Oh, that's been on my schedule for a while too, so it was pretty good. We didn't sew too late, only had 2 beers, and wow, feel good about today. Got a jump start.
on day 3 and working on my next skirt, and I'm corseting the pieces together of the yoke, and I am top stitching the edges to give it a corset look. I'm not even a back stitch because it'll just get hooked underneath the elastic. Okay, I got my band on. That looks good. It's going to look like this when it goes over. It's a double row of frayed edges. And now I have to attach the skirt, the square circle skirt. And I've already had it hemmed. I hemmed it right when I cut it. And now I've got to attach this to this. Alright, have the yoke connected right sides together to the skirt. And I sewed exactly 5/8 right here to catch my trim in there. Alright, onto my skirt. I have the waistband in, and my band, and now I'm cutting out the flowers from this fabric here. I have all these flowers that are just basted on here, or they're kind of stitched. Wow, it's a lot of work in here, how they got these on here. So I'm just cutting them off, and then I'm going to Velcro them all along the hemline of this skirt. That would be fun. I might space them out a little more than this. I have to see how many flowers I have. I don't actually know. I think I'll just leave that for, maybe I can just get 5 in here and space it out so that there's not too many, because then I have to put Velcro on each one of these, because I have to think about when I get it cleaned how that's going to go.
Well, that skirt went fast. So nice to have dedicated time to work on my projects. And here is the skirt. So much fun to wear. I love these flowers. These have been on my to-do list for a couple years. I remember I bought these at a Joann's in South Carolina somewhere, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just bought the fabric just for these. These are so much fun. I'm gonna love wearing this skirt. I didn't Velcro it. I ended up buying black safety pins and safety pinned them on, because I thought when I'm gonna clean it, I'll just unclip them and send it to the cleaners and then put them all back. It was much easier than sewing all the Velcro on it and all that. And I've already worn it, so I couldn't even feel the pins in it. So yeah, problem solved. Anyway, so finished that skirt and onto another group meeting. This one's all about pants. Carrie and Ray have these pant patterns that they have, like the glamour pant, the jeans, the classic pants, all different patterns with different variations on it, and they have workshops on pants. So
Depending on your shape. So all of these changes are really variable depending on where your hip breaks and how you're built. You know what I mean? So you have to read that part of the design section if you want to try to do this on your own, so that you get one that looks
What pattern is that
comfortable on
called?
you. Huh?
What is that one called?
The glamour details.
The glamour.
It's in between. So you can really change the width however you want.
well, this is where I ran out of footage. My camera started acting up. But at the very end, I went and tried on some of the muslin, the mock-up copies of the jacket. I thought, I'm here. I don't really wear jackets a lot, but my students might want to wear them, right? What they do there is they put on the mock-up jackets, and then they fit them to you and say, okay, you got to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then there's variations, like a flared side panel, straight one. And then what I love about this pattern is it's a square armhole. It has like some squareness in there, so I thought that would be really good for my students to try. And I'm going to make it, at least do the mock-up of it, or I might just make it in a white linen, something simple, and try it. And then she has a lot of workshops all around these jackets. And then the retreat, I think almost everybody was making this jacket, or there was some tops and all. If I go to another retreat, I'll probably still do skirts. I like skirts. that could wear out too later, but that was really, I love their system. Turns out I didn't need any alterations. That's been my way all my life, either from skinny to little. The patterns always fit me. I've been really lucky, which is actually bad because then my fit skills, I've learned to do patterns and all that, 4 years of design school, but like for myself, I just kind of had it easy. But I've worked with a lot of clients too in fitting stuff, so I know how to do it. But it's also very hard to show people how to fit patterns because they have to understand the process of pattern making to understand how it goes. So you gotta be a pretty good sewer. So if you're trying to jump ahead fitting patterns, you gotta be good at sewing first. That's my tip for the day. Anyway, well, that was a glimpse into my retreat weekend. 3 days of sewing. It went fast. Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I finally got to go to one. That was really fun. I enjoyed it. I love the camaraderie of all the other ladies there, and you're sewing, and what was really cool too is people could sew. So that was, they understood the language. Yes, anyway. But I got 2 new skirts out of it. Here is my postcard skirt. I've added some buttons and some trims on there. I loved all these old vintage buttons I have. So that is the skirt. Everybody keeps saying, where are you going to wear to? And I say, to the airport. This actually be really comfortable on a plane. I get pretty wrinkled up, but it's flowy, it's fun. And then I have this skirt. So 2 new skirts and memories. Lots of fun. I really enjoyed it. I also have retreats. I have Camp Sew Social. Check out campsewsocial.com, and I do small retreats with doing like 4 or 5 people, and we meet at a hotel. We do meetings, fabric meetings, fit design meetings, that kind of thing too. I have that all planned out. This will be my 4th one, and I'm going to do them spring and fall. Right now I have one in the fall, but this was my Camp Sew Social. And we used to do it in a big log cabin on the lake. It was my deluxe sewing retreat. That house got way too expensive, like doubled in price, like $2,000 a night. And I thought, well, I'm gonna have to have a really big retreat for that. And it was also physically exhausting, bringing all the things in. But now I have it kind of whittled down so it's not so physically exhausting, and also my husband doesn't have to work so hard at it. I love retreats. I love sewing with others who speak the language and know how, not always being the teacher. Although at my retreat, I'm the teacher, but also, find ladies who know how to sew. They just want guidance or ideas or, the next step, which is really fun to teach. So I love that. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and check out Fit for Art Patterns and the retreats. She also does one in France. Her daughter, I guess, lives there, and it's all on there. It's more, I don't think it's sewing. I think it's more art with fabric and dyeing and techniques, which is what I love. So I do want to go there, but I'm not going to go for a couple years because I'm waiting for Notre Dame to be back up. Let me know if you go to any retreats. I'd love to hear where you have gone and any stories and fun you had. And if you have any really fun retreats, please let me know. I think I'll see you there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you in the next video.